Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of The Professor's Picks, alongside, of course, the professor himself, Mr. Ken Golden, who's got some cool stuff to show you today, right?
I do. Actually got a lot of stuff. January's starting out hot.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's better than the two of us just sitting here staring at each other, right?
I know. Well, the three of us, me with my window glare here, it's like I'm just sitting here trying to escape this damn thing. I'm like, oh, there we go. That works. That works.
All right, we got a lot to go through, so I'll try and be fast. Fast for me is not so fast, but I'll try anyway. But we'll do the pre-orders first. We got two interesting titles. First one, Stephen Wilson remix, Gentle Giant, The Missing Piece. The streets on February 16th. There's three editions. There's a regular CD. There's the CD Blu-ray with all the high-res stuff, surround, what have you, and then vinyl. And the next one is a new band that I'm really looking forward to, from my buddy Bumblefoot, Whom Gods Destroy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So the this comes from the remnants of Sons of Apollo.
Yep.
Right. So it's Ron Thal, Bumblefoot, with Derek Sherinian, and they have a new vocalist, Dino Jalusic, who is, yeah, Dino. We've talked about him before. I mean, he's kind of like a jack of all trades. He's great, and he's a perfect fit. I mean, they had Jeff Scott Soto, who was a great vocalist, and they're replacing him with another great vocalist. The rhythm section, these guys are sort of unknown to me, but they're not going to bring in a couple of jabronis here. So I looked them up. Yas Nomura is the bass player. He's in something called the Resonance Project, which, if I remember correctly, I'm not that familiar with the music. I think they're like a two-man band.
I think so. Yeah.
And they have like a Bandcamp page, and the drummer Bruno Valverde, apparently he plays with Angra.
Yep. Yep.
So
he's really good. Really good.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. So that streets on March 15th. We've got a CD coming, a 2 CD media book, and 3 different colors of vinyl, black, and I don't remember, guys. It'll be on the website. There's going to be 2 of this. It's going to be a lot of versions of this thing. So let's move on to the CDs, the regular inventory for CDs that we have in now. First one is Exit Eden, Femme Fatale. This is I think the second release. Originally, Amanda Somerville was in this band, and it was 4 women. Now it's 3: Clementine Delaunay, Marina La Torracha, and Anna Bruna. Clemmy is in Visions of Atlantis, and a while back I had a band whose name, why am I forgetting? French band that she sang in, and that's great. That's embarrassing.
Too much to remember, right?
Melted. Yeah, man, this getting old thing. This getting old thing is getting old.
It's getting real old, yeah.
So yeah, Melted Space. So we did a couple albums of Melted Space, and Clemmy was the singer on the second one that we did. Next thing we had, anyway. So I think it's a lot of like cover tunes, and if you like the ladies, it's not my thing, but. Next thing, the Grandmaster, Black Sun. This is melodic power metal. It's Jens Ludwig, who's the founder of Edguy, guitarist from Edguy. So it's one of these Frontiers projects where they bring in all different people, and it's selling pretty well already.
Great cover.
Yeah. So I'll show you another great cover. So this one is going to show up here, I would think, in the next hour. Isometry. Break the Loop, Italian prog metal band. Very good. They approached me out of the blue, asked me if I would help them with distribution in the US. It's your kind of traditional prog metal. And, I can't swear that I've dug into this thing super deep, but what I heard, I did hear the album through, and I thought it was very good. And once they're here, I'll spend more time with it. And so I'm looking forward to it.
George LeMay, be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely. Got his name on it. All right, now we get into the world of Anthony Kalugan. Are you familiar with that, Pete? You are familiar with any of the Karphagen stuff? So Anthony Kalugan, he's a Ukrainian keyboardist, and his stock and trade is symphonic prog rock. Very grandiose. He has different projects. One is Karphagen, another one is Sunchild, and then a third one, which I don't know if is still active, is called Hogwash. And yeah, it's very grandiose. So what this was actually a live recording. It's called the Message of Peace Tour Live, and it's material drawn from Karphagen, Sunchild, and Hogwash. Primary difference, like with Sunchild has a female lead vocalist, Karphagen male singer. Hogwash, I don't remember. I don't think it's active anymore.
Probably all instrumental. That would make sense.
It's
Male singer,
possible.
one female, and instrumental, right?
You know, he also has something called the Anthony Kalugan Project, AKP. So, and he does like instrumental albums. He's unbelievably prolific. And it's, you're not going to get much heaviness out of this stuff, but it's very lush symphonic prog, and he's very popular. So of course, I didn't show the cover. The cover art's pretty cool. So, but I'll be hitting you up with some more of his stuff in a minute. Next thing we got the new one from Magnum. Here Comes the Rain. You know, Tony Clarkin, the guitarist, he just passed away, right?
Yep.
What's the best way to describe Magnum?
Pop rock.
Pop rock, right?
Very melodic, hints of hard rock and progressive rock, but very catchy, very Magnum. I mean, nobody
Right.
sounds like Magnum. They've got
Right.
a very signature sound. Yeah.
It's got like some hard rock to it, but you wouldn't necessarily call them a hard rock band. Got some prog rock. You wouldn't necessarily call them a prog rock band, right?
Yeah. Lots of hooks, great vocals. That's why pomp kind of makes sense. Pomp rock. Most people would be like, what the hell is pomp rock? Well, it's kind of everything we just talked about. It's kind of very catchy rock music that doesn't fit in all these other categories.
Right. And they always have great covers.
Classy band and never released a bad album. They've been around forever and just
Did they ever play here?
I think they toured once or twice here back in the 80s. Never again.
Never really caught on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, these are imports. Next one is actually something that I had last week, and I sold out of it just as we were about to record. So I didn't mention it, but I've now got a restock. This is the second album from Canadian band Monarch Trail. It's called Four Sides. It's a project by a Canadian keyboardist, Ken Baird. And for this particular project, for Monarch Trail, he brings in a bass player and a drummer. And also he enlists Kerry Kerluck, the guitarist who plays with Art Griffin.
No, okay.
So so Ken plays keyboards, and he also sings most of the album. Well, I shouldn't say most of the album. A lot of the album is instrumental, and the way he conceived this album is a double album with four sides. So it's all, you know, epic long tracks. And if you're a fan of like Wind and Wuthering Genesis, this would kind of be in your wheelhouse. So it's very good. We did very well with the previous album, and I was kind of surprised because this came out like December 15th, you know. So it was after we would, you know, talking about like year-end best of lists and stuff. It's really nice, lush stuff. There's some nice guitar work on here. It's not a shred fest or anything like that. You know, keyboards really kind of take the center stage, but it's very nice symphonic prog. So next one we have to talk about. Now, is it No Spun or is it No Spoon?
Supposedly it's No Spoon.
Okay. So here's the story with No Spoon. Album came out you reviewed it. I know you reviewed it, right? So the album came out, album came out in June, digital only. Everybody was bugging the shit out of these guys to put it out on CD. And I poked my nose into their affairs, and I made suggestions, and they finally made a CD. And I got them, and I sold out of them 2 days. It didn't take very long. They have sent me a restock. They may or may not be on, they may or may not be in stock when this airs on Friday afternoon. They're due here either Friday or Saturday. The mail being what it is, Monday is a holiday, so they may not be here on Tuesday. If you see it on the website on Friday afternoon and it doesn't ship out immediately, don't freak out. They're here. I'd rather do that than not mention, it at all. So
It's worth mentioning because it's very good.
yeah, I mean it was a digital album and they got invited to play at Prog Power. I mean, if you like, you like Dream Theater and Haken and
Symphony X, yeah.
Symphony X, it's got a little bit of all of that stuff for real. And this thing fell out of the sky. Nobody knows who any of these guys are. And to be honest with you, when I text with them, I don't even know who I'm talking to. I could be talking to a different person every time. I don't know. They don't even tell me their names. So I don't know. They're kind of like complete unknowns, but they made a great album.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it was like one of those albums where I listened to it for the first time. I'm like, shit, I would have released this.
That's what I thought the first time I heard it. I was like, first of all, I could think of at least 2 or 3 labels, yours being one of them. This would fit right in. I'm like,
Inside Out,
yeah,
anybody. I mean, it's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it popped up on a lot of like year-end top 10 lists. Did George have it on his list? I don't know.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
It's really that good. So we have another supply coming in, and I have a feeling there'll be another shipment down the road. So, okay, next one. We have 2 versions of the new one from Palace. I love the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's called The Messenger. We have 2 versions. There's just a regular CD version, and we also have a media book version. Media book versions, of course, it's hardbound, has more text, doesn't have any additional music, and of course, it's expensive. All this stuff's always been expensive. Don't know why, but
that's a great cover, and I think I was just looking here. There's an artist who's doing a lot of covers in like prog and psych lately. Looks like that's the same guy. I'm trying to find. Well, you can keep going. I'll find it and then I'll hold it up.
I almost thought that this was like AI generated.
I don't know because it kind of looks like the same guy who did the Yawning Bouts cover. Hold on, I'm grabbing it right now. Kind of looks very similar.
Not that different.
And this guy is John McGill. So I don't know if it's the same guy. Same guy who did the cover to oh man, what's the name of that band that Peter Hamill guested on last year?
Oh yeah, Androgynous.
Yeah, looks like that. It looks like the same guy.
We did it. We did a show on great prog covers and stuff. I think that sometimes bands underestimate the importance of good cover art.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It creates a mood, an atmosphere, and it kind of captures your imagination, and it really makes you want to listen to it.
It's a lost art. I mean, I don't think I would have ever picked up that Yawning Bouch CD I just showed you if it wasn't for that cover art. And the music was great. So I'm glad I got it, but I got it because of that cover art.
Isn't that like a collaboration?
Yes, it's the guitar player from Fu Manchu and the rest of the guys from Yawning Bouch. So Bob Belch. It's very good. Very progressive, just all instrumental, just spacey, psychedelic guitar music and stuff. It's very good.
Probably something I should sell.
You probably should. They have 2 of them. They released 2 of them last year. They're both really good.
I will investigate.
It's Heavy Psych Sounds, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, Heavy Psych Sounds Records.
I know the label. All right, the next thing, we're going back to Anthony Kugan. So we actually got in, we restocked a lot of Carfagan and all the Sunchild stuff. So this is Sunchild album called Exotic Creatures and the Stolen Dream. And then we got in something called Time and the Tide. And Time and the Tide is a 4 CD set. It Well, what it does is it's just a repackaging of like four early Sunchild albums that had been out of print. So it's like four, it kind of like at a budget price. So it's a good deal if you want to get into it. So there's a lot of good stuff this week, but this one that I'm going to talk about, this one is the real surprise. Have you heard this, the 20 committee yet? The Cycle Undone? You're going to hear this, I'm sure. Jason Hart, I just have a little story I got to tell about this. So it's Jason Hart, who played with Renaissance and played with Camel, and Jason's a friend of mine. And Jason said, "Is it okay if Jeffrey Langley reaches out to you? Jeffrey has a band, and I think it's something you can carry." And Jeffrey actually is from this area. It's in the Philly area, and the band is from Swedesboro, New Jersey, which is like 20 minutes from here, 25 minutes from here. And when I saw Jeffrey's picture, I said, "We've met before." Jeffrey and I met when Dream Theater played in Philly. The last time they played in Philly, I think it was last time. We were doing like I guess the after show thing with sort of like a meet and greet, but not really a meet and greet. We were like on the guest list, so the guys came out. All the guys from Dream Theater came out, and Jeffrey and I were part of a group of guys hanging out. And I had introduced myself to Jeffrey and vice versa. So he recognized me and I recognized him. So Jeffrey is the keyboard player in Renaissance. And the 20 Company is his band. This is their second album. Their first album was put out in 2013. Took them 10 years. Took them 10 years to do this thing. And man, Pete, this is really good. It's symphonic prog. He's a very talented keyboard player. There's some really nice guitar in here. Keyboards tend to take center stage. Annie Haslam sings on the 13-minute track that's on here. There's a lot of long tunes, but Annie guests on here. I think Brett Cull recorded Annie's tracks. It's very, very, very good, I think. And this came out, I think was it like January 1st or something like that? I think it was like January 1st release. So I think this is a release we're going to hear a lot about. And in fact, I almost sold through my first batch in a day, and I have another batch showing up tomorrow. I have inventory. So anyway, it's something that I'm sure you're going to hear, and I know it's something like, for example, I think Chad's going to love this album. So very good. Also, again, really nice cover art.
Yeah, I'm checking that out. That's very, very nice.
And Annie sounds good, and yeah, it totally came out of left field. I had no expectations. Listen to it. It's up on Bandcamp if you want to give it a
Okay, yeah, I'll check that out.
Give it a spin. The 20 Committee, the Cycle Undone, real good. Next thing we got, the last new CD release is the new one from Vespero, E Diludo Globi. Do you know these guys, Vespero?
Yeah.
Russian space rock. That's the best way to describe it. Just these guys, I don't think they've put out a bad disc. And pretty prolific, and just you dig the whole space rock sound. These guys, instrumental space rock, really good. Not much more to say about it, really. All right, I'm gonna hop over to the vinyl, and then we'll get to the good stuff, the cheap shit. So vinyl, we got a reissue of Amandul Disaster, the classic krautrock double album. Finally, this was delayed. Angra, Cycles of Pain on colored vinyl. This is something that came out, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago on CD, and it's now making its way to vinyl. Double album from Mr. Aldemiola, Elegant Gypsy and More Live. Did you ever have the CD of this?
No, never heard of it.
I think I used to sell it. I may still sell it for all I know. But that was from that Elegant Gypsy tour.
I saw that tour, which is fantastic.
I saw that too, and man, that was something, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hallis live at Circus. I hate when there's a delay between the CD and the vinyl release. I wish I could just offer them both at the same time. Anyway, we finally got that. I was late to the dance on this particular one on vinyl. We brought in Mondo Drag. We were doing so well with the other ones. So, it's time to, bring this one in too. And something I'm really proud of. Street date is on the 12th. 0 Hour, Towers of Avarice. Very happy with the way this thing came out. We did a nice gatefold sleeve on it. It's very, very cool.
Very nice.
That's the vinyl. Now we talk about the cheap shit. So everybody loves the cheap shit. Gray Area. Derek and the Dominoes, New York City, 1970. I believe it's a double. Did you order this? I think you might have. No.
No, I was considering it like yesterday. And as I was looking at it, I'm like, I have, because I think I was recorded the Fillmore, and I have like an official Fillmore Derek and the Dominoes that I bought like 25 years ago. So I'm like,
Sure.
I have to. I was like, I don't want to buy the same thing twice, so I have to double check to see what I have and see.
I got, if you want it, I got copies. Uh, British band, actually pretty good. Caprica's Constant, The Murder Wall. And again, this is cheap. I don't have the prices in front of me, but this is a cheapie. Studio album. It kind of sound a little bit like Big Big Train compared to Big Big Train. David Jackson from Van de Graaff guests with them. Next one we got here, Jaco Pastorius, Word of Mouth Sextet from the Montreal Jazz Festival, 1982. It was, I think, before Jaco completely lost his marbles. I saw Word of Mouth. I saw them at the Lone Star Cafe in New York. There were so many people on stage that they had to push tables up against the stage because there was no place for everybody to stand. I think John Faddis was standing on a table. So I have a soundboard. I have a soundboard recording of that. We used to get soundboard patches for Lone Star. Next one. This is a classic, and I think it's $6. We got a beautiful media book edition of Pod Rundgren Initiation. Kind of a controversial album. Are you a fan?
I like a good chunk of it. I think the big long track is way too long, but
It's
good stuff.
on Cosmic Fire.
Yeah,
36 minutes, and it created a fit for everybody because they squeezed the 36 minutes onto one side of an album.
it sounds like crap. Yeah.
But there was that's the one that doesn't have I Was Born to Synthesize.
Hmm.
That was a great track. That was an Alison Steele track. She used to play that all the time.
I the big epic track treatise is probably could have been 20 minutes and it would have been fine because there's some really good stuff on it. It's just way too long. All the other songs are really good. Like side one and two, or side one is just really good. Great songs on there.
Well, this came out on Ed's I believe it's on Ed's Soul, I
Yeah,
think.
so-
And it's beautiful hardbound media book, really classy looking. Next thing. Space is the Place. Sun Ra and his orchestra, live in New York, 1973, double CD. Cheap copies, if you don't, you may want this for the car or to give to a friend. Cheap copies of UK Danger Money in a digipack. It's coming out from Talking Elephant did it. White Willow Ex Tenebris. This was the second White Willow album. And if you buy it from us, guys, don't freak out. There was a printing error on the spine. I believe it says White Willow Sacrament. And it's the right cover art and it's the right music. So it gave us fits because we were kept grabbing if you were ordering Ex Tenebris, and we thought, and then the last one, we've got a ton of these, $6. Steven Wilson, The Future Bites. So we were offered a great deal on it. Love
I'm
it.
sure they couldn't give those away, so they're like, please sell these.
Well, I don't know, for $6 it's selling.
There you go.
So, maybe a little bit of a change of direction. So,
Just a little bit.
he has his fans.
Oh, he does. I mean, yeah, it's.
So
I love the guy, but that album just. Oof.
I'm gonna turn. I want to turn off my Prezi so people can see my vintage spiral architecture.
There you go. Very nice.
Yeah, the fact that it still fits is amazing. not much does from that time.
Yeah, right.
And that's what we got this week. So
That's a lot of stuff. Holy cow.
yeah,
Okay,
and
cool.
I got some more stuff coming next week, and so we'll we're busy already.
Okay. Well, it's the start of the year, right? We're back in action. So it's like that all across the board. Cool. So as always, down in the comments section, I'll have pinned a post which will have the link to lasercd.com as well as all the titles that Ken mentioned today for those of you who like to do the copy paste thing. You know, it's a little bit easier, right? So we'll make sure to get that going for you. And we'll see you next week here on the Professor's Picks. Till then, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Tomorrow we got the UK connection. Simon and Stephen and myself will be talking about albums that are significant others, friends and family, or work colleagues, whenever we play them, tell us to turn that shit off. That's coming up tomorrow. And then on Sunday, Grant Arthur joins me once again for ranking the albums. We'll be ranking a little bit of a change of pace this week. We'll be ranking the catalog of Pablo Cruz, the kind of soft yacht rock band from the 70s. Their last album came out in 1983, I believe. So we'll be ranking those 7 albums coming up on Sunday. So until then, have a good weekend, everybody. For Ken Golden, I'm Pete Pardo. We'll see you next week here for more Professor's Picks. Till then, take care.
Bye.